Here's a right triangle. Ooh, that looks ugly. Let's try that again. Ooh, that looks ugly. Let's try that again. Here's a right triangle. Now, if we draw the altitude to the hypotenuse of the right triangle, all of a sudden we have three right triangles that all look alike, that are all similar. So let's call this A, B, C, and D. Hide. Okay? What triangles are similar to what? Well, on this, if I draw the littlest one here, and then the medium one, and then the big one, and I orientate them all the same direction, because this one flips to this. This one flips over to be this. And this one is this direction. But what I want is short side on the left, medium side on the bottom, hypotenuse on the upper right. Okay, so all these have a right angle right down here. Okay. So what I do is I have three of them. And so I call this one baby. I call this one mama. And I call this one Papa, like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Baby bear, mama bear, papa bear. Okay? So you got baby, mama, and papa. Now, in baby, which letter is the right angle in this picture? What letter is the right angle for baby? D is. What's the short side? D to A. And the other letter for baby? B. Mama, where's the right angle? D. The short side? B. Now notice, the medium side of baby is always going to be the short side of mama. The medium side of baby is always the short side of mama. Always, always, always. And then what's the other letter for mama? C. And papa is A, B, C in this orientation. So, when you're doing your homework, one of the first questions was figuring out the letters in order. So, if I would say triangle ADB is similar to, if I go ADB in this order, what would mama's order be? BDC. What would papa's order be? ABC. Okay? Do you get how to orientate those? Jack, close your computer lid, please. Lid closed. Thank you. Okay, you got to know how to orientate these. Now, if we put numbers in, X, and let's go X there, 20 there, let's go 80 here. I don't know. Let's see how that works. Okay. So how do I figure out what X is? Well, I know AD, and AD is 20, so that only appears on baby. AB is X. AB appears here and on papa here. Okay. AC I know is 80. So notice how I have the short side and the hypotenuse of baby, the short side and the hypotenuse of papa. So now I can set up a proportion. 20 over X, X over 80. How do I solve proportions? Cross multiply. X times X is X squared. 20 times 80 is 1600. How do I get X alone? Square root X equals 40. This side would be 40 long. If this side's 20 and this side's 40, this side's 40, this side is 80. Make sense? Okay, let's do another one. This time I'll flip it around a little different. Let's say we know that, and I want to figure out what x is. Well, over here we have baby. Here we have mama. And the whole thing is papa. So I draw baby, I draw mama, I draw papa. Okay, what parts of baby do I know? Do I know the short side? Yes, that is 4. Do I know the medium side? This is baby. Here's the hypotenuse, so the medium side would be this side. So yes, I know that's x. Do I know the hypotenuse? No. So I leave that blank. Mama. What parts of mama do I know? Do I know the short side? Yes, that is x. Do I know the medium side? Yes, that is 9. Do I know the hypotenuse? No. And for papa, the only part I know is the hypotenuse, which is 4 plus 9 or 13. Don't need papa in this one because I have the 2 shorts and the 2 mediums of 2 of the triangles. So then I set up my proportion. 4 over x equals x over 9. See how that works? Okay. This over this equals this over this. So if we cross multiply, x squared equals 36. So x equals 6. Okay. All right. Let's complicate this just slightly. Not all numbers work out great. Let's say we have 10 and we have 30. What's x? Okay. All right. Now, there's a shortcut to this. Here's the shortcut. I don't have to draw a baby mama papa if I know part of the hypotenuse, the altitude, and the other part of the hypotenuse. I can use a shortcut there. My shortcut is this. This over this equals this over this. 10 over x equals x over 30. How do we solve a proportion? So if we cross multiply, we get x squared equals 300. Take the square root, and oh no, you get a crappy decimal. But the directions will say, leave your answer in simplest radical form. So what the heck is simplest radical form? Well, behind me here, we see the perfect square numbers, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. Where do those numbers come from? Yes, Daniel. A number times itself. 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. What's the biggest number on that list that goes evenly into 300? Biggest number on that list that goes evenly into 300. 100. 100 goes in evenly at 300, right? So x would equal the square root of 100 times whatever is left over. 100 times what is 300? 3. So x would equal 10 square root of 3. This is called simplest radical form. Simplest radical form. Let's do that again for a different one. Yeah, that should work. Okay. How do we set this up as a proportion? 8 over x equals x over 24 cross multiply x squared equals what is 8 times 24? 192. Is 192 a perfect square? No. What's the biggest perfect square that goes evenly into 192? Well, you start here and you work backwards. 169 doesn't go in there. 144 doesn't go in there. 121 doesn't go in there. 100 doesn't go in there. 81? No. 64? Don't just say no. How many times does 64 go in there? 3 times. So x equals the square root of 64, square root of 3, which is 8 square root of 3. That's simplest radical form. Okay? Okay. Now let's do a super easy problem. X, 12, 24. How do we figure this out? What do we put over what? Jack. You know, you look like you're not paying one bit of attention, but you know exactly what's going on. Good job, young man. So x over 12 equals 12 over 24. So if we cross multiply, 24x equals 144. And if we divide by 24, what do we get? 6. Okay, so we can do this. Now, there will be a couple that aren't like this, that will be basically like this. Let's do one more of those. And then I'm going to give you a worksheet to get some more practice on this. So let's make this 32, 80, and x over here. Okay. Oops. I didn't really draw that very well. $32, 80, and x. 32 plus what makes 80? 48. So 48 is here. So if we draw baby, mama, and papa, and the reason why I'm drawing baby, mama, and papa is I'm not looking for the altitude. I'm looking for a different side. So baby is down here because it's the shorter part of the hypotenuse. This one's mama. So baby, I know the short side is 32, and that's all I know. Mama, I know the short side I don't know. The medium side is 48, and the hypotenuse is x. Papa, the big one, the medium side is x, and the hypotenuse is 80. So, x over 80 equals 48 over x. How do I solve this? Cross multiply. X squared equals whatever 80 times 48 is, which is 3840. Take the square root. Oh, guess what? I don't think the square root of 3840 is a perfect square, is it? No. How am I going to find a number that works in there? Well, I'm going to start at about 400. Isn't going to go in there evenly. I know that. 361 probably isn't. Maybe 324 does. Take 3840 divided by 324. What do we get? 11.85. So we're close. 289 won't. Maybe 256 will. Does? How many times?